The standard was high at the British Open, with some of the most difficult shots being executed flawlessly, even under immense pressure. But which of these was the best shot at the British Open? As usual, I'm going to be finding out by attempting to recreate the top 20 shots as accurately as possible before playing them in the fewest possible attempts. And we're beginning this week with Moody, who's run out of position in the deciding frame against Ali Carter, but instead of just playing safe, he takes on the pressure pot, gets it, and is able to win the match from it. Had he missed it, he could have well stuck the red up and lost the match. It can be really challenging to play a shot at this angle as a slow stun shot and still get the angle right, especially when there's this much distance between the object ball and pocket. I've got it on my third attempt and I'm really happy with that. It looks like Shaun Murphy has dropped out of position in his quarter-final match as he lands on the top cushion, but he doesn't hesitate and just knocks the red into the middle pocket and plays the cue ball in position for the blue. Weirdly though, this is the only frame Shaun lost in the quarter-finals, winning it by 5 frames to 1. I've got the pot at the correct speed, and by the look of this shot, that's really all there was to it. A similar situation for Jack Lisowski now, as he also looks to have fallen out of position in the middle of a break, but despite this he's refusing to turn the red down and pots it, screwing the cue ball back off a second red in position on a colour. He from here would give himself a great chance to win the match against John Higgins, but would fail to do so and would eventually lose the match to John by 4 frames to 3. I really didn't expect that one to go in so quickly, although I've cued it too well as it screwed off the second red more than I was expecting. Just like last week at the English Open, Judd's playing an unusual positional shot off the black. This time he's screwing the cue ball onto the bolt cushion with left hand side, which is allowing it to spin to the left off the side cushion and top cushion, back for the red on the right side cushion. That may sound complicated, and that's because it is. I'm going to have to time this perfectly and possibly hit it about as hard as I can if I'm going to get anywhere near this shot. I've learned from my first attempt it's not that difficult to pot this black with a lot of left hand side and backspin and screw it onto the bolt cushion at a slightly slower pace, but to hit it hard enough to get back for the red, I'm going to have to play it at a speed which makes both the pot missable and it a little bit difficult to get the cue ball in the right position. And I'm just struggling with that at the moment, but I've just about hit the bolt cushion in the right place and I've done about as well as I can with this one. I can't get the cue ball any further over than that, unfortunately. This next Antoni McGill shot is just incredibly tough, and there's a fair amount of pressure on it as well because he's 3 frames all in the semi-final against John Higgins. Despite all of this, he not only knocks the red in, but manages to screw the cue ball off the side cushion for perfect position on the blue. He then goes on to take the frame and the match by 6 frames to 3, so let's see if I can get anywhere near to recreating this one. After playing a few shots at this, I believe I've got a genuine chance of getting the cue ball in the right position, but I will need to hit the white absolutely perfectly. There I've managed to pot the red, but didn't cue it very well, and the white hasn't come back far enough down the table. So not only have I got to pot it, I've got to cue it perfectly at the same time, and I'm starting to wonder whether or not Antoni played this shot with any side spin. It's possible he just screwed the cue ball onto the side cushion and the backspin helped it back to the right side of the blue. I'm playing it with a small tracer side spin because I don't think I can 100% get the shot right without it. I've potted it, got top side of the blue, but it's not really right, although I don't think I can do much better. On to another excellent positional shot, this time from Mark Williams, as he's got a yellow over the corner pocket, but don't be fooled, from this position it's incredibly tough to get the cue ball anywhere near the green. He does it with backspin and right hand side, and lands in almost perfect position to finish the frame off, which he does, and he goes on to win the next two as well, taking the match by 4 frames to 2. As you could see from my first attempt, you can just be a couple of millimeters out and strike the yellow at slightly the wrong angle, and the cue ball goes nowhere near the correct position. I'm starting to get closer here, but I'm going to need the perfect contact. This is looking a little bit better, but unfortunately I've just hit the shot too hard. I just need to play the shot a fraction slower. In the end, that's better than I was hoping for. Antoni McGill has already won the 4th frame of the final and appears to have run out of position on the yellow, but despite this he pots the yellow off the side cushion and then manages to knock the green in after this, completing the century break. Well, it looks like I'm going to be playing this for some time, so while I'm trying to get this shot, I just want to apologise if you're hearing a small amount of building noise in the background. We're having some work done this week and it'll be over soon, but I didn't really have time to wait for it to stop, and I'm just trying to play these shots in between the drilling, which has also been a little bit distracting on some shots, but I think I've just about managed to get away with it. And I've managed to get away with getting this fairly quickly as well. That's a lot quicker than I was expecting, to be honest. Joe O'Connor is 42 points behind with just 43 left on the table, and he's been left a straight red, which doesn't appear to be much good to him because it doesn't look like he can get on the black. But he manages to not only screw it back far enough down the table to finish in position on the black, he also manages to stop it in just the right place. From here he knocked the black in, won the safety battle against Mark Selby and made the clearance to force the next frame, where he'd make 129 break and force a deciding frame. However, Mark Selby was just too strong in this and he'd end up losing by 4 frames to 3. As you can see, I'm really having to throw my arm at this one to get anywhere near the correct position on the black, but I think I'm timing it a little bit badly and hitting the shot a little bit too quick, and that's causing me to jump up a bit much on this. I haven't had this sort of problem in a while, but again, I haven't tried to play this sort of shot for quite some time, where I have to give it this much power at this much distance. Despite all of this, I'm not too far away, and I'm able to pot it like here, but there's just not enough backspin on the cue ball, even with everything I'm doing, to get anywhere near the black. I know I can cue it better than this though, and I'm hoping that that should be better. I've got a better line, but I'm still not even past the pink spot here, and I know I can do a fraction better than that as well, so I'm going to keep going until I've struck the cue ball the best I possibly can, and this might be it. I couldn't hit it any better than that, but I'm still only just about to the pink spot, and I'm not on the black, so for me this shot was completely unplayable. Antoni McGill was clearly looking at this, but I don't think anybody was ready for what he played, as he doubled the red off the side cushion into the yellow pocket, leaving himself in great position on the black. From here he had a good chance, but was unable to take advantage of it and eventually lost the frame. He then lost the match in the end as well by 10 frames to 7. I know I'm not going to be able to figure this angle out, so I've just hit it straight to see where it goes, and unbelievably it's gone in. I've been a little bit fortunate there. And up against that, Mark Williams has this double in the deciding frame to secure the victory. It's not quite as impressive as it would have been, however, if he played it a couple of shots before. It's one of those where I thought the double kiss was going to be close, but as it turns out it wasn't, and I've got it pretty quickly. So which of these doubles was the cheekiest? The Mark Williams shot gets 2, although it would have got quite a bit more had it have been for the frame, which means that this week's winner with 3 is Antoni McGill. We've had one example of how well Shaun Murphy was cueing off the cushion already, but this just appears to be on another level, as he knocks in this long yellow, getting the cue ball back down the table far enough to be able to pot the green. From here he was able to make the clearance and take the frame. Okay, I think the plan is here. First I'm going to try to pot it, and then I'm going to see what I need to do in order to get in position on the green. But pot first. Well, I've got it, and I've barely got past the pink spot. I'm going to have to hit that a lot harder, and I think that's going to be a problem, because the extra speed makes the shot a lot more difficult. It's gone in though, and this looks good. Can I get past the blue? Well, that's definitely gone better than some of the earlier shots. John Higgins is having to swerve around the green here to pot the red that's definitely not over the corner pocket. It's quite a distance away, so it means it needs an accurate contact. And not only did John get this, he pulled the cue ball up in time to give himself a shot at a bolt colour. Eventually John would go on to win this frame with a 62 break. Even though the red's a distance from the pocket, I don't think this one's too bad, as you only have to swerve a small amount around the green in order to pot the red. I'm able to get it on most occasions, but I just haven't found that thin contact yet that'll get me back down the table towards where John got the cue ball. And understandably, going for that thin contact, I've actually overdone it there. This is better, however. I've got the white down into roughly the same area, and also I've stopped it short of the bulk line. What about this one for a snooker from Mark Davis now, as he screws the cue ball in behind the pink off the side cushion here. The weight on this has to be absolutely perfect, and despite the fact that John Higgins is able to escape from the snooker and hit it, he leaves a chance for Mark Davis to go on and take this frame. He actually takes a 2-0 lead before eventually losing the match to John by 4 frames to 3. I nearly got that first time, but unfortunately I just slipped round the back of the pink. But it would have been good if I got it straight away, because usually these shots where you have to try to get a snooker take forever, because the white has to land in the perfect position. And this looks like it could be one of those, as I keep getting close every single time, but the white just fails to slip in behind the pink. This is a good shot because it's not difficult to get somewhere near the pink, but to control the cue ball in behind it is really, really tough. And I'm proving that with every single shot I play here. This is, nope, too much side spin. I thought that had a chance then. You've got to control the side spin, the back spin, and this is looking pretty good. Yep, it's definitely a snooker. Might actually be better than one Mark got. Now, if there was a competition for the best snooker of the week, Shaun Murphy would run the previous shot close, as he's able to spin the cue ball in behind the black here with a lot of left-hand side, and gets it absolutely perfect. So good, in fact, that Scott Donaldson is unable to hit it, and Shaun Murphy is able to eventually take the blue, pink and black he needs to tie the frame. I was hoping when I first saw this shot that Shaun just played it with a lot of left-hand side, and that would be enough to spin the cue ball in behind the black. But unfortunately, you also have to stun it. And when the cue ball strikes the cushions with that amount of spin on it, it also speeds up. So if you stun it slightly too much and it doesn't hit the cushion for long enough, you're going to hit it way too slowly. So you've got to get everything exactly right here. And it's actually a very difficult shot to play, and a very difficult way of getting the snooker in behind the black. It's going to take me a number of attempts even to get the white close to being in the right place, although this looks pretty pretty good, but as you can see, the amount of left-hand side I had on the cue ball there just spun it wide. Although I think I might have got this one. Let me just come round and have a look. No, unfortunately there's a gap through to the blue, so I'm going to have to try again. And as you can see, it's very easy to fractionally stun the cue ball too much and stop it hitting the cushion quick enough to get the snooker. Once again, this is close, just not enough speed. So let's see if I can do the same thing and just hit it a little bit harder. This is actually looking quite good. The side's right. Yep, definitely not as good as the snooker Shaun got, but I've got it and I'm definitely taking it. That frame would go to a respot where Shaun Murphy was eventually left this long black out of the jaws of the corner pocket, and he seems to cue it absolutely perfectly right in the middle of the pocket. So let's see if I can get this first time as well. Unsurprisingly, I can't cue the ball as consistently as Shaun Murphy, although I've got it with my second attempt, so I can't really argue about that. Stuart Bingham's giving me another opportunity this week to see how well I'm cueing, as he pots this long red and screws the cue ball back down the table for a bulk colour. Unfortunately for Stuart, however, he didn't end up winning this frame. However, he did win the next one, but lost the match overall by 4 frames to 1. I've been struggling with this type of shot this week, so I'm hoping here I can play it a little bit better. I've got the pot there, but just haven't cued it well enough. And I've got it again, cued it better still, but it's still not enough. I need about another foot out of the cue ball there at least, otherwise I'm not going to be on a bulk colour. This is looking more like it. Haven't really got the angle right, but I'm definitely a lot further back down the table. On to Antoni Kowalski now, who's potting the blue in the middle pocket and playing the cue ball with right-hand side and backspin, round 3 cushions and the back of the black to get in position on the red on the left side cushion. From here he's able to pot the red but can't take the frame and eventually loses the match by 4 frames to 2. My first attempt's looking good if I've got the pace right, but unfortunately I didn't have enough side spin on it and it's come up a little bit too straight and I didn't finish on the red into the correct pocket. I might have been able to pot it in the other middle pocket though, but it doesn't seem too difficult at this stage to get round the back of the black, but now I'm starting to have a little bit more trouble with it. You've got to be very accurate with the right hand side and backspin here, as this shot probably just has a little bit too much right-hand side on it and goes to the wrong side of the black. And actually thinking about it, it'd probably be easier to hit the cushion on the left side of the black and get to the red, and that might have been what Antoni was playing. But as he played it round the back of the black, that's what I'm going to try and do as well. And I've got it right here, and it's come up and kissed the red onto the middle pocket. I'm definitely taking this if I can pot the red in the middle pocket, and I've got it. I'm really happy with that one in the end. Once again, Shaun Murphy's powering the yellow in off the cushion, but this time it's the side cushion. He pots it and gets the cue ball round the back of the brown to finish in position on the green. He eventually is able to take the frame and the match here. I'm happy to get that first time, and I might even have overplayed the cue ball slightly here, but it's in roughly the same place. We've got another Stan Moody shot to play right after we find Voltage, who's in Krabica, Belgium, which is there. Just when Stan Moody looked in trouble in the match, he pots this red out of the jaws of the pocket, finishes in position on the black, and unbelievably from this situation is able to make a 66 break, which wins him the frame. He takes the match in the next frame as well. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm finding this shot really awkward to pot out of the jaws of the pocket. I keep hitting it far too straight, and I'm almost aiming to miss the red in order to cut it to the right. So after that, I'm just glad it's gone in, and I haven't really noticed I'm not on the black properly. Now, before we finish, I've got to have a go at the one-handed Mark Williams shot, so let's see if I can get this right, as he plays the cue ball off 2 cushions, for some reason one-handed, I'm not sure why, and gets the cue ball safe. I'm going to see if I can actually play it one-handed, and if in fact it is easier than playing it normally. Well, my first attempt's gone horribly wrong. That definitely wasn't easier. My second attempt looks better, but I fouled the blue with my cue because I didn't hold on to it at the other end. It feels like that's the sort of thing that could go wrong all the time, so it probably isn't easier, though I've got it right with my third attempt and got it down the other side of the table. Last week, in the best shots of the English Open, you voted for shot N, Elliot Salesa. So congratulations to Elliot, who wins the best shot of the English Open. But this week, you've got the chance to vote for the best shot from this video, the British Open, and you can do so for free using the link in the description. And if you want to catch up on some previous videos you haven't seen, have a look at these 2. And remember, don't just watch, play, and make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel and visit the website. See you later.